Alright, here's a video regarding some blend shapes. I don't believe I've done one of these, so I'll just do one now. Sometimes characters need to wear hats, so just enable this. There you can see the hat's clipping, the hair is clipping through the hat. So we create a blend shape, we're going to create a blend shape for the hair so that we can sort of squash it down so it fits within the silhouette of the hat, and the developers in Unity can then adjust that slider, so when the character's not wearing the hat, the slider is down, and when the character is wearing the hat or other types of hats, they can adjust the slider so it'll scale the hair and squash the hair down to fit, and they can adjust the slider to suit whichever hat they've got. And we'll just use the bucket hat as the most extreme. So I just take the hair and I duplicate it. Okay, I'm just going to call it blend shape for now. Let's add an E there. Okay, so we can actually hide the original hair. And here's the duplicated model. And now we need to go to deform and add a lattice. Under the settings here, you can add in how many divisions you want. So this is the amount of divisions that I'm happy with. And then I just need to go into, I'm right clicking now, I'm going to lattice point, and I can just select certain, you don't want to select the mesh. You just select the certain points that you want to manipulate, and you can move them around. As you can see there, just move them around, and you can start tucking the geometry in underneath the hat. Now you continue to do that, and at the end when you're done, just hide the hat and make sure that none of the head geometry is sticking through. So give you an example. You don't want this kind of scenario that I'm about to show you now. Don't do that. There we go. So if we scale this down to fit within the hat, and you push it down, you kind of want to avoid that kind of thing. Sometimes it's alright, but just remember some hats maybe is, say, a tiara or one of those, what do they call, casino hats with just the little visor on the front and it's open on top. So just be mindful of having the character's face, head geometry clip through the hair. Okay, and yeah, you just go through the model and you scale things down. Be sure to do the bangs and the fringe and that kind of stuff. Bring them in as close as you can without distorting the actual style too much, because just keep in mind maybe they're wearing a beanie with those long sort of flaps down the side. Just try to bring it in as much as they can, and developers can always scale up the hat if to accommodate. If we've reduced the size of this model, the hair model, as much as we can, then the developers will scale the hat up a little bit to accommodate, because they know that that's as far as we could take the hair model. Okay, so I'm going to hide this one. Actually, just delete it. Got another one that I've done already, and there it is. Okay. Now you can see if I enable the hat, it fits quite nicely. Alright, there's a little bit of clipping, but that's just, we can scale the hat up a bit, or I can enable this. Okay, so that clipping, where did we see it? Not showing now. Maybe it just shows when you close up. Okay, I don't see it anymore. Okay, let's just hide this again. Pretty sure I saw a little bit of clipping. Okay, end of the day, in some games they will give you a precise size of the hat. Ah, there's the clipping. Other games they'll just scale the hat according to the smallest you could make it. Okay, so it seems to only show the clipping when the hat is selected. We'll just scale the hat up just a little bit so it doesn't show. Alright, so now with the final step, let's hide the hat. So I'll show the hair. Now we want to make the original hair we want to create a blend shape for that hair. It's very important that we're working in the bind pose. So I'm just going to go, originally we were in the bind pose, just going to make sure that we were, and that doesn't look right. Oh boy. Go to bind pose. That is not looking right. Something's broken. This is the bind pose. So, seems like we might be leaving the bind pose. That's why it's doing that. So I'm just going to go back to, yeah. So that's, I don't know why it was doing that, but anyways, this is the sort of idle animation. And if we go here, we go skin, go to bind pose, that is the bind pose. You can see it is aligned. I did that originally before we started recording. Strangely enough, if I go to bind pose twice, that's not doing it now. Thank you, Maya, for being weird. Anyways, make sure you're in the bind pose before you start working, and before you do the blend shape, just make sure you're in bind pose. So you select, I believe, your blend shape first, then your model, and then this will be under modeling. You go to deform, blend shape. Now we can hide the blend shape model, and if we click on this hairstyle and we go under Windows, under animation, and we go to shape editor, we have a new slider here, and if I play with that slider, oh boy, alright, I know what the problem there is. So what we need to do here, I'm going to undo that, just make sure we see undo there, create blend shape. Alright, that's undone, that's no longer there. What we can do is with this new hairstyle, we just need to make sure, let me just see something. Everything is zeroed out. Alright, let me just hit pause quick. Okay, it might be that I need to apply the lattice before we do the blend shape. I think that is the case. So what I will do is, I believe I can just go edit, delete by type, history, and that just deletes the lattice but saves the changes we've made. Okay, so now we make sure we have the blend shape selected first, then the hair, and we go to deform, create a blend shape, we hide this one, go under Windows, animators, shape editor, and now we can play with the slider. Nope, it's still doing that. So I wonder why it's pulling to the right. I'll hit pause again and see if we can figure this little conundrum out. Okay, I'm going to try something else quickly. I believe it's probably because the skin weights, when I duplicated, deleted the skin weights, and that's why it's doing that. So what I need to do is, and also I know when to edit, delete by type, history, I believe it messes with the skin weights as well. So what we need to do is shift, just click on the skeleton, shift click on that, so it expands the whole tree. Click on the top, scroll all the way down, click on the bottom. So what we can do now is click on the blend shape, we go to the rigging workspace, we go skin, bind skin, we can collapse this. Now I go to the original hair, I click on the blend shape, I go skin, copy skin weights, because there was work done on the original hair to make sure it flows nicely and animates nicely, so we want to copy that across. Okay, now we've got this hair in the right state of mind to work properly. So let's try this again, and deform, create blend shape, let's hide the blend shape, go under Windows, animators, shape editor, and let's see if that works. No, still not. What is causing that? I'll be right back. Okay, let's try one more thing. Let's go to modify, center pivot on the original hair, modify center pivot on the new hair. Let's just go to rigging to make sure that didn't break anything. No, still moves around just fine. Let's make sure we go to bind pose. That's probably on the body. The hair doesn't seem to have a bind pose. Alright, click on the blend shape, click on the new hair, deform, create blend shape, hide blend shape, display, no, Windows, animation editor, shape editor. Still doing it. Now why are we doing that? is compressing towards the right. Let's have a look at the blend shape options and see if that has any solutions for us. Okay, I found the solution. So essentially, when creating the blend shape, it does not look like it's beneficial to be in the bind pose. I just go out of the bind pose, I go back to frame 0, then I select the 2, and I go deform, create blend shape. I haven't changed any of the options. I hide the blend shape, go to the original here, go under animation editors, shape editor, and there we go. Okay, so that's the blend shape control we want to give the developers. That way they can put hats on the character, and they can make the hair suit. So we don't have to create a new hair model for each hat. We use the original model, just include the blend shape to compress the hair. Okay, I hope that helps. And then just with exporting, I believe you can just select these two. You don't have to select the blend shape, and you go export selection, and it will include the blend shape for you. You don't need to include this additional model. It will reference that automatically for you. Okay, all the best. Bye. Okay, before I go, actually, one more thing. When you export, just make sure that you have under export selection, you don't actually have to enable animation. It will include the bake animation. You don't have to include the animations to. You'll see if you turn animation off, it looks like it's disabling blend shapes, but it's not. They will still export, so you don't need to include that. If you do include animations, it will bloat your FBX file. So currently this scene has animation in it, but that's just to make sure that the artist that's doing the skin weights can actually see how it's deforming in the animation to make sure it's working properly. But when we export, we don't want to include those animations. So make sure you don't, it depends on what pipeline you're using, but in our case, the rider animations, we've already got an FBX with all these animations in it. It doesn't need to have that. So when we export, say, each of these different hairstyles, we just can disable animation. Okay, so that's one thing. The little error I was running into is if I hide the blend shape and I say export selection and just select that file, so it's 05, I'm not including the animation, and it's got blend shapes enabled, so I say export selection. Okay, now if I show you this, let's have a look. If I go to Unity, and this is a previous version, so I'm going to just delete it. If I drag this into Unity, okay, so I drag this into the scene, and it's actually included the blend shape and not the actual model, even though I selected the model. So a workaround for that is in Unity, just delete the blend shape model. Your blend shapes will still work. So if I go under animation editors and I go shape editor, you see the blend shape is still very much functioning. Okay. Now when we export, we just overwrite that file, minimize, delete the one we have in Unity, drag it in again, pull it into the scene, and there you see it's included the original hairstyle, and just close that and close that, and there's the blend shape. Okay, hope this helps. Take care.